So I'm here with Jack Pitcher. He is the fastest Brit to run across the whole of Australia from Perth to Sydney. You did it in 61 days and you beat the former British record by a whopping 16 days. I'm not going to try and calculate the percentage quicker on a podcast, but that's a lot of days quicker. 28 years old. We've got you in because you're from Bracknell. We got kind of connected through a mutual friend on social media. And I thought, you know, this guy doing it from Bracknell, who's got a new challenge, a world record challenge that's about to come. It's not got any property links, but we've got to talk about it because we do a lot of stuff in the community. It's a very cool story and I think people are going to really enjoy it. So first and foremost, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, thank you.
We're going to dive into the new challenge soon on this episode. But the first thing I wanted to personally just ask you is sort of casting your mind back before Australia. Where were you? What was going through your mind, and why did that decision happen? I'm sure you've been asked that before, but what was going on in that moment where you're like, do you know what? I'm going to run from Perth to Sydney.
Yeah, do you know what? It's crazy. So obviously, the Chester 100 that we've both ran.
Yeah.
So before that, I'd probably say 8-9 months before that run, I was working in a job that I just didn't care for. It didn't give me any passion. I was a roofer. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. Well, I did. I knew I always wanted to be a motivational speaker and some sort of athlete who does these crazy challenges, inspires people, talks about it, but I just didn't know how to get there. And it was really frustrating me. So then I went through a bit of a dark patch, a relationship ended, a friend of mine passed away all in the same time. So things came down really heavy. And then I was just very honest and said, look, I'm not scared of dying. I shouldn't be scared of failure. So I've never ran a marathon, an official marathon. I've done a couple of ultras, but small ones, and just threw myself in with a 103-mile run. And just thought, let's see how I get on. And done it. And then from there, I thought, I just want to carry on this momentum of telling myself that I'm not scared of failure. It seems to work. And that's when me and some mates, we sat down and planned Australia. And then, the rest is history, I guess.
I got to admit, when I did Chester 100, I wasn't thinking, actually, I want to do this for 61 days.
Yeah, yeah.
You obviously found something within it that I think a lot of ultra runners come from maybe addiction. Some people have got depression. There is certain links to that whole thing about trying to push your body to that level of can it burst, can it pop, can it fail, and driving through it. And then the finish line, the rush that you get from it, from achieving something that people go, oh, you're crazy, or I can't believe you've done that, or whatever. There's a lot of links in there. And you kind of highlighted that there was a few things going on in your life where you're like, actually, I'm not going to run a marathon. I'm going to go to that next level of doing 100-miler. And were there points in that race where you were thinking there's something in this, or were you just struggling all the way to the end and then afterwards the sense of achievement was so strong that you thought, I need to do that again, but bigger?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd probably say so. I think first of all, I wanted to see if my theory of if I'm not scared of dying, why should I be scared of failure? I wanted to use that and to see if it could work, and it did. Every time I was tired, I didn't want to go on anymore. I was wet, I was hungry, I was cold. Keep going. Why should you be scared of failure? The pain's going to go, everything passes, keep going. So I'd done that, and then I thought, you know what, I'm not happy with my life. I want to change a lot of things. How do I do it? I need to do something so big that a lot of people are going to be like, you've got no chance, And like I said, I've never ran an official marathon, and I'm trying to tell people that I'm going to try and run 95 of them in 61 days. So people just feel like, this is just no way. And then like I said, I'm very competitive, and I almost feed off people saying I'm not going to do things. And that's what then took over. And I started planning and started saving as much money as I could. I had a few friends who owned small businesses that really couldn't give a lot, but they did, just gave me anything to get me out there because they really believed I could do it. I didn't let them down and got it done. So I think it was the pain, the physical and mental pain of the 2 months. I know, just keep going, because when you've done it, it's worth it. keep going, and that's where it stemmed from, really. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned the prep, because that was the question too that I've got for you. Is I'm interested to know how you make it happen. So the preparation that goes into before you get to Australia, that planning. I would imagine there's a lot of stress that goes in there. There's a lot of moving parts. We spoke obviously off camera about your next project, which we'll cover, but the preparation, the planning, the problems, how long was it between you going, I'm going to do this, to actually being able to get out there and do it? And just talk me through some of those stories as you were trying to sort of plan for it.
Yeah, it was funny because I was just a normal guy from a normal area with a 9 to 5 job. I wasn't someone off Made in Chelsea. I wasn't a reality TV star or an influencer. So you have to work 10 times harder than anyone else to get any sort of trainers, any money or anything. We probably sent hundreds of emails and got no replies back. So that was hard in itself. So you're working against that while we carried on doing our 9 till 5, and I was a roofer. So it was a physical hard job. And then I was trying to find time to train afterwards. It was too much. Obviously my mum said, look, I believe in you, and gave me some money and stuff. And, me and my mate, we put some money together, and we bought a van and a trailer out in Australia that we collected. We bought our flights and our visas, and it was very cowboy. It was very cowboy, and I wouldn't change anything about it. But it was very hard to prepare for all that, because you're thinking, am I making the right decision? Should I be leaving my job? I have no idea if I'm going to come back alive, let alone successful. But again, life's all about taking risks. Everything good always comes off the back of risk. So I kept telling myself that, and every day I thought, no, I'm making the right decision.
So you went out there, cowboy. I love that.
Yeah,
just totally authentic. Got no idea what's going to happen, but let's just start running and see what happens. Got the van, got the visa. Obviously, that was important. Did you have a route? Did you have a daily nutrition plan? Did you have a recovery plan or anything like that? Because this is the first time you've done anything like that.
This was, nothing. We went out, there was 3 of us in a van eating pastas every night, pot noodles every night, drinking Coke, eating chocolate bars. I had no physio. I had no nutritionist. I didn't even really have ice packs for my legs. Nothing. Some nights I wasn't even having a shower because we didn't have the best van. We didn't have anything. So it was and for me, going all through Australia, running in probably the worst conditions with no nutritionist, no masseuse, nothing. And all these professionals have it. I thought, well, if I can do that run without all this nice stuff, then I can do a lot more as well. So I'm glad it happened, because I don't know any different. I never come from a family that is made of money. We always got by, but we never got everything. And I feel like that's paid off in the end, because I don't think I'm entitled to all these things. And whenever people want to try and give me stuff, I sort of go, what's the catch? Because I'm not used to it, So yeah, it was, we didn't have anything. There was some days we had to almost ration food, because we'll ask mates and family to send us money because we don't have any money for food.
Yeah.
So I was running on a 4,000 calorie deficit most days, man. That's why I got really skinny.
I've seen the photo. It looks like an Atkins diet gone wrong sort of scenario, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting because you mentioned about kind of some of the reality stars and the influencers, and I think since COVID, it's been quite popular for people to get into these endurance challenges and races and stuff. Obviously, you got Hardest Geezer that's kind of done what he's done, and that's really kind of promoted a lot of stuff. But what you see with those when you watch any of the YouTube videos is they do have a team around them. But what you just said then, I didn't realise that not only did you not really have any sort of team, but there wasn't any kind of recovery plan or any nutrition. You obviously weren't sponsored. You didn't have Huel chucking cartons of stuff halfway through or anything.
I had a friend, Alaric, who was the videographer, who became the driver, the chef, the navigator. The guy was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night as well, because he had so much to do. So I owe him a lot, and I said, no matter where my career gets me, I'll always think of you first, because without him I wouldn't be here and doing these challenges and stuff. But we didn't have anything really. We didn't have thousands of pounds from Huel. We didn't have all this food. I mean, if you can get it, great, but I think a lot of people think I just had all this money and team, and I didn't. It cost me 15 grand of my own money. massive. I could have got a deposit for a house probably from you guys. So like, I spent everything I had. I was selling things to get money for this dream. So we done it really cowboy, really badly.
And the next event, you've got a purpose behind it, you've got a charity that you're trying to support. Was there a charity or anything in this, or was this just that pure personal challenge?
Yeah, so we raised money for a local charity in Wokingham called Art Counselling, that just basically offer 3 therapy sessions for children and adults who can't really afford it. Okay. So we wanted to find a local charity that needs funding, and quite a lot of their staff there will work for free. They're all volunteers. They operate at a loss every year, and without vital funds, they're probably going to be shut down. So we thought, let's do something locally. And also my friend Josh, who I started the run with, he's now in the army. So we wanted to raise money for the SSAFA that help, sort of ex-servicemen and women and their families cope through like mental health sort of struggles or losses in the family. It's just a really good sort of charity for ex-servicemen and women.
Did you have them in the back of your mind on the tough days?
Sort of, yeah, I did. You know what? That only came into towards the end. I think in the last 12 days of that run, I had to run 120k a day for 12 days in a row. My friend Josh got injured. He had to pull out. He couldn't carry on with the run. Then we tried to let him recover for a couple of days, but time was against us. My mum and sister were flying to Australia to see me finish, and they were flying home 2 days later. So if I'm not on Bondi Beach in those days, my family aren't going to see me finish. I'm going to miss my flight home. So I had to be on Bondi on 61 days. And that's when Alaric said, you've got to run 74 miles a day for 12 days in a row, which is about 33 marathons. And I thought, I just got to do it. Just get on with it. And that's when I was on the BBC, I was on the news, and my friends are like, mate, the world's watching you now. You have to do it. You have to do it. And that's when I thought of the charities. I thought of all the people that are going to help me. And I thought of my future as well. It was for me, it was survival. It was, I want to get in the industry of doing these big runs, working with brands, working with companies, doing these insane runs that people think you've got no chance, coming back and speaking about it and inspiring people. For me, it was survival. This is what I want for the rest of my life. I have to do it. If I fail, I start again.
Because a lot of people would say, I'm not fit enough to do that. But what we're talking about here, especially with that sort of latter part of the race, is it's all mindset. It's all mental focus. And it's amazing what the body can do when you actually go, do you know what? Mum's flying over, from Bracknell. I guess she lives around here as well. She can't afford a second set of flights. So I've got one window really to make this work. Do you say your sister was flying over?
Yeah, mum and sister flew out. They literally flew to Australia for 2 days to see me finish. And you know what? Even then, when I finished, a lot of people thought I was being in a hotel, I'd have champagne, I'd have a massage. I flew home the day I finished. I finished running on the beach, and about 6 hours later, I was on a flight home. Could barely walk. Had a whole aisle to myself, which is nice. My mum bought the other 2 seats next to me. But yeah, I just went to sleep on the flight, so I flew straight home.
Did you actually manage to sleep? Because a lot of times,
do you know what I did?
You can't.
Yeah, I was that exhausted. I just ran, 120k a day for almost 2 weeks. And I was just burnt out.
Yeah, the body just sort of turned itself off and went right.
I was just completely gone. And what was nice is that the air hostesses on the flight, they knew of what I'd done, and they always gave me some more food, and they looked after me. It was good. It was nice. But yeah, I just switched off and just went on.
And you did get some PR around the Australia challenge. We were just looking at the BBC article that popped up, and it's funny because even before Charlie, the mutual contact, introduced us, I don't think it was this month's edition of Runner's World, but it might have been the last month or the month before. But I was kind of flicking through it as I do, because I get it monthly, and the nice big double spread there is you, is particular image of you, kind of, I think you got the bucket hat on and maybe
my Sunday League football kit.
It's a pink kit.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out if it was like Brighton away or something, but I couldn't work it out. It's your Sunday League team. But reading that and going, oh, that guy's from Bracknell. It's crazy when you kind of live local. You're like, wow, it just shows, people aren't made in Chelsea stars, influencers,
Yeah.
you know, sport athletes, etc. What other PR came from that, and how have you managed to kind of use that? And has it helped at all with the next challenge, or not really, would you say?
Yes and no. I think I got some nice PR stuff from it. You know, I've ITV came over to my house. They recorded me for the news, which is really nice. But the things that I've benefited from the most is networking, is contacts. I was never in it for fame. I was never in it for that. It was working with the right people that I can help them. They can help me. They want to help me without getting anything in return. It's meeting the right people, and I feel like I've done that now. I've met so many amazing people through what I've done that want to help me, and I want to help them, and that's all I really care about. But again, people see me in Runners World, but I begged for that for 4 months. I begged and emailed every day and said, "This is my story. Would you like to hear more about it?"
Yeah.
They never approached me. So I begged to be in that magazine. A lot of running podcast pages completely ignored my achievement because I didn't have a blue tick next to my name on Instagram. I wasn't an influencer, and it's sad. So I've seen the negatives of probably 50-50. I've seen amazing things, what I've done, but you think all these running pages and running podcast hosts and all these people that love running and stories, but I didn't fit the narrative because I wasn't famous. I was just a normal guy from an normal area. And that's helped me because it's made me more hungry, which is scary because I can achieve more now than Australia, you know. So it's worked out okay, but I'm like I said, I'm very competitive. I don't give up. I'll keep plugging away. I'll keep doing bigger runs. I'll get myself out there, because the bigger I get, the more people I inspire, you know, to run and to maybe talk about the mental health as well. So it works hand in hand. But like I said, it was the things I wanted out of Australia I got. You know, I'm working with some incredible people, but it was the other things like begging to be interested in a running magazine. You know, like I've just got a British record, like
not just any British record as well. I mean, to run across Australia 61 days, you know, it's a proper feat. And I think that's the sort of thing that people would be more interested in than, you know, someone random that ran around the lake for half an hour or whatever. Exactly. Not that that's an article, but you know, there's some lower quality stuff that gets in there.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you say about how that kind of disciplined work ethic to just get that press related influence there is really challenging unless you've got that kind of certain status. So let's talk about the next challenge, you know, which is why I was super keen to, you know, we've got a good following in the local sort of Bracknell, Berkshire, you know, Wokingham, Crowthorne area, and I think it would be great to see the local community really come out. I mean, you're going to do your thing with the national icons and trying to get people, but to really see locally people get behind you, I feel we should have known about Australia, you know, locally. Like I didn't know about it until I saw it in that magazine, and I feel with the next challenge, it's something, you know, it's a world record attempt. It won't take you as long as Australia, but it will be a different level of challenge because you're going for a world record, so you're up against the world's, you know, athletes that have tried to do it. But I do feel there's a place that locally the community's got to kind of support and get behind you. And that's something that hopefully we can do a little bit with this podcast. So talk me through the plan, talk me through what the challenge is and where you're at with it so far.
Yeah, so the world record attempt is to become the fastest person to run from north to south of Iceland. So at the most northerly point of Iceland, there's a lighthouse, and at the most southern point of Iceland, there's another lighthouse. And I'm looking to get the fastest time to run from north to south of Iceland. The current record for a solo supported runner is 10 days. I'm looking to do it in 8 days. So that will be 100k a day for 8 days in a row, which I think works out at 17 and a half marathons in 8 days.
Talk me through about supported, because people won't understand the difference. So you can do it in two different ways. You can do it totally unsupported, where it's just you in a backpack, basically.
Basically, yeah.
But you're doing it as the fastest supported. So again, we've spoke about people who've got serious support crews. you're almost going up against people that have probably got more money, more education, more experience around this, probably better planning, arguably, you would say. But you're really going at it with a view of, look, I'm authentic in this. I'm going to, take my ambition and my mindset to it, go with my smaller team, I would have thought, and really have a crack at it. But supported means that you've got people around you.
Yeah. Supported means maybe, I'm getting food, I'm getting checkpoints. I have a team, maybe, doing things for me. But annoyingly, Australia wasn't really, as much as I had, two mates doing everything for me, at times it didn't feel like a supported run, because I couldn't have the care, because A, I couldn't afford it, B, we couldn't get it, and unfortunately a lot of companies and brands ignored what we were doing. So as much as I had a van and I had food, at the same time I wasn't getting the massages, I wasn't getting the stuff. I was running in trainers that were basically so worn away. There's a picture of me on the BBC running in Crocs. I had to run 150 miles in Crocs because I couldn't get any more shoes. Yeah.
That is bonkers.
Yeah, so that, when I say like we didn't have a lot.
At the end of the run, your
so
ruined.
Basically, the trainers I brought out with me, they were old. They weren't even new. I couldn't even afford more trainers. All my money was tied up in the project, and I ran out of shoes. And my friend said, "Look, there's a town in 2 days' time. There's a shop there. We can try and get you some." And I had to run 150 miles in Crocs. So, like I say, yeah, it was supported. At the same time, it probably wasn't. I didn't have enough equipment and not anything. But yeah, Iceland should be supported. I might take some Crocs. Yeah, I might take some Crocs. Whack 'em on sport mode, I'll be all right. Yeah. So a supported run. So I will have a team. It's planned a lot more better. A lot better than Australia was. I met a guy through a contact on LinkedIn called Jeremy, who's been insane. He's basically like the project manager, and he's got a lot on. He's got a family to look after. His dad's not very well, so he's got a lot on, and he's still finding ways to help me and to build the project. He's done an amazing sponsorship package, and we're just trying to get everything together to give this a really good go. But again, I wouldn't change anything from Australia. I learned so much of what I need to do. I'm glad it happened. But yeah, Iceland hopefully is going to be planned out a lot better.
So talk me through, what a team set of responsibilities looks like, for you to go there and attack it as a team. And is there space on the team for someone maybe looking locally that wants to build a career in a certain area, or, how's that team shaping up?
Yeah, so what will happen is obviously Jeremy's going to come out. He's going to be the driver, so he's going to do all the driving. And then we've got my friend Alaric, who I took to Australia with me. He's going to be doing all the content. He's an amazing photographer as well. He does really good content reels, but his photography is really, really good. So he's coming out again. And then depending on sponsors and depending on how expensive things are, we're looking to get someone else in that can maybe share the driving, that can also prep all the food for the team, and just get things just a bit organised, really. Because the last thing you want to do is you just run a marathon and you come to the van and like there's no food to eat, there's nothing to have, and you go, and that's what I was doing basically. Alaric in Australia could only do so much. And I'd run 60-70k in the desert, and I'd get there and I didn't even have cold drinks. Because we just didn't have anything, so that's what it is maybe get another person on board just to make sure that all the food and all the snacks there for the team and for the runner is all separated. We know what we can have at different times. So, but yeah, like I said, if we get the sponsors in, it should be all good.
So with the Iceland project, then what's the charity? What's the link? What's the kind of the reason behind it? Obviously the world record, the personal challenge, the accolade of that achievement is there, but is there a connection? And I know there is because we spoke about it. What is the connection that you've got in terms of the charity side of things as well? Yeah,
so obviously the SSAFA, who we raised money for, getting back from Australia, were incredibly supportive. They've invited me to events. I've met the guys from SAS who Des wins. Like they said, anything you want going forward, just email. So I want to carry on raising money for them. I really do feel that the military just don't get enough recognition for what they do. I don't think there's enough help for them. So I want to carry on supporting them. My dad served. He was in the TAs. He was a builder, but he's also in the TAs as well. My granddad was out in the Suez Canal. My great granddad was in the army. Like all the men on my dad's side have come from a military background, and I feel like I was always destined to go in the army. Never did. And I feel like it's one way of basically doing my part is to do these crazy challenges and raise as much money as I can. And do you know what? My friend Josh introduced me to the charity. I didn't know who they were. He said, look, I'd like to raise money for them. And obviously he's going into the army now. So he introduced me to the charity. And then I've realised by going to some events how important they are for people.
What do they do exactly?
So basically, if you've got maybe... you have a tight-knit family and you know, the dad or the mum passes away from, you know, fighting abroad or whatever like that, and the family suffering, is that the charity will come in and basically maybe even help you financially, help you with, you know, the sort of the loss. They'll help you with therapy, with this, and they'll do everything they can to make your situation better, but more bearable, and they help you and they guide you back into sort of, you know, being in a safe space, because at the end of the day, people are giving up their lives to keep this country safe abroad, and a charity should be there to look after the family that, you know, from one of the soldiers, you know. So it's incredible what they do. It's really good, and it's slightly different to help the heroes, but they play a really vital part in looking after the family and almost trying to deal with the damage of what's going on. A really good charity.
Yeah, it sounds like an amazing charity for something that probably isn't as well publicised as a Help for Heroes, but in terms of a life-breaking moment, they're there to try and pick up the pieces in a way that kind of rebuilds it to the best that you can. So, and I know you spoke to a few of the more celebrity faces in there, which we don't need to name names, but more celebrity faces that have got a passion behind that charity that hopefully will be helping you as well. What can local people do? You know, what can the people of Berkshire, Bracknell, Wokingham, Camberley, you know, in and around the area, what can they do to kind of support you on this next quest, would you say?
Just, you know, if they want to help out and they want to support, just obviously, you know, while I am out in Iceland, and if we get there, just to share as many things as possible, and also share the donation page for the charity when that comes out. If they feel like they can help in any way, my Instagram's always open. Feel free to drop me a message with any ideas. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. Obviously, fingers crossed, if we get the record, there'll be plenty of partying and celebrating. So, like I said, anyone that just wants to get involved, like, just message. You know, you know, just feel free to fire your suggestions away. If you think people can help here or there, just message. Simple as that. Like, not asking for a lot, you know, a share of a post can go a long way. So anything they can do. Yeah,
there's some great local businesses with big followings, you know, some of the local pubs and some of the local businesses and charities out there as well. And people that have come from Bracknell and surrounding areas that have become influencers in some sort of fashion. So, you know, if they're out there, give it a share. What's the best handle for you? Instagram? Yeah,
Instagram. I'm on Instagram quite a lot. I run like a run club in Bracknell called Summit Mentality as well. So either get me on Summit Mentality Bracknell or just go straight to my personal, which is Jack Pitcher or Jack_Pitcher_. And then just message me with any sort of help or advice or any ideas really.
And can people come down to the run club? Is that?
Yeah. That's that we hold that at Southall Park every Sunday evening at 6:30. We get all different abilities down. We get people who could do really quick 5Ks. We do people who do 35-minute 5Ks, different ages, different abilities. And we change the route. We all have a drink at Southall Park after. And you know what? I've seen a lot of progression from people. We've been doing it about 9 weeks now. The first night we had about 30 people down, and it's the group's growing. It's really good. So
yeah. No, I love that. It's great that you kind of got that local connection. Southall Park, obviously, pretty much the centre of the Bracknell universe.
It is, yeah, it is definitely.
In terms of like the running community, it is a really cool community. But the running ultra community, endurance community, special like bond of people, and when you're running with people for a long time that you've never met, and you're just having a general chinwag with someone that you've never met, is very cool. The world we live in at the moment, which is is less social. You built a community there at Southfield Park on a sort of Sunday evening, but it is less social. It is more behind screens and stuff like that. So with the Australia challenge, with where your headspace is at now, what kind of advice would you give to those younger people that are out there, or older people that, I think I saw someone run Badwater this weekend. He was 80 years old and he started running at 49.
Love it.
It's an amazing story. Classified as the hardest race on earth, the one that David Goggins got famous for. 80 years old, completely that, But he didn't start running until he was 49. So you found a love for it. You found that it's what you want to be your life, your career, and to give back and to achieve things. What would be the advice that you give to people out there, maybe parents that are watching this that think, actually, my kid needs to watch this? What would you say are the big kind of tips and giveaways that you've had there?
Great question. The first thing I'd focus on is consistency. Before any form of distance or speed or races you're thinking about, if you're looking to get running, you're looking to look after yourself and change your life, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's doing a hobby, whatever it is, don't focus on how good you can get. Just focus on consistency first, because we don't go into the gym and start trying to lift 100 kg. We go to the gym 3 days a week first, and then we build on it. It's exactly the same with running. If you tell yourself, I'm just going to go every Monday night after work, do it. Mm-hmm. Go every Monday night. I don't care if it's for 10, 15 minutes, half an hour. Just go every Monday after work. And then with that, your confidence builds, your fitness gets better. You start taking it a bit more seriously. Just let it grow organically, and listen to your body as well. We're not robots. I've done my fastest ever 10K the other day, and it's taken me probably since December to get back up to that speed from Australia. We're not robots, we're human. Listen to your body, but enjoy it as well, and just focus on the consistency. Let your confidence and your ability come organically. Don't force it. Just enjoy it, build that consistency, and most of your problems will change if you find that. And instead of trying to put passion into a lot of things, try and see what you get passion out of as well. You could put passion into so many things, and if you don't get anything from it, then what's the point? You could sit there and I want to own my own pizza place, and you could bake pizzas all day, but if I don't get anything from it, then what's the point? So you find things you get passion from as well as putting passion into.
Yeah, I love that. The consistency aspect of things, I think, is so important, because we're so quick to go, oh, that didn't work, and then just stop.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, that didn't work, how can I make it work? And if you're getting that energy flow through something you're passionate about, then it's worth building a habit out of it. And I think sometimes people start something, shoot for the stars, because that's what we're told to do. Shoot for the stars, and you might hit the moon, I think is the phrase. But sometimes it's a case of, oh, it'd be really good if I could do that, but let's just build a habit out of it. And if it's something you care about, then that's a great bit of advice, I think, for younger, older, all generations, really.
It's never too late. Like I said, at 28, getting to 30, I thought at 28 I would have had a house, I would have had a family, and haven't. So it's don't put things. Obviously, plans never happen. Plans can sometimes happen, but they don't. As long as your plan B is the same route to plan A, that's all that matters. Okay, I might have wanted a family at 30. It's probably not going to happen. But what's a couple more years? We're here a long old time.
You might meet someone in Iceland.
I'm already with someone. In and out.
Not going to meet them. Yeah. Probably not in the best state, actually, when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And just to ask, just for my interest, really, what's the Iceland terrain like? Obviously, it's not going to be a pan flat race or pan flat run. So, what are the obstacles that you're kind of intrigued by? Because Iceland and Australia couldn't be more different, right?
Yeah. So obviously with Australia, it was relatively flat from start to finish. A few hills, but it was just all tarmac, desert. It was horrible.
Any kind of like animal attacks or snakes or anything?
I got bit by a pig. That was it. Yeah, I got attacked by a pig.
It's like around Clarkson's farm. Right?
Yeah, basically all the things I get bitten by, I got bit by a pig. That was it. But no, Iceland will be it will be all tarmac. I'm speaking to a guy who's basically studied the country like most of his life. English guy as well. and the route we're going, he goes, it's all tarmac roads. You've got nothing to worry about. The roads are really wide, so you've got enough space to park the van up, which is like Australia, which is good. However, sometimes in the morning it can be quite misty, so you use a lot of torches. But a lot of windy roads, maybe a bit of incline, but as long as it's tarmac, that's fine. I feel my best running is on tarmac. Just chew it up and 100k a day and let's see what happens. But like I said, I sometimes like going into the unknown. It's ignorance is bliss sometimes, just don't overthink things. Just go there, get it done, and cross the bridge when it comes to it. So
yeah, brilliant. Love that. It's a great story. I feel like it's only just starting for you, and what you'll do, over the next decade to think is going to be
hopefully
very exciting. We'll obviously be sharing it all with the Avocado socials and Soteria and Mortgage Tribe, and we'll be getting it out there on our socials when you're out there doing your thing. And wish you the absolute best of luck doing it, getting the sponsorship that you need, and obviously raising the money for the charity as well. So thanks for joining me, and good luck.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.